Inhale and exhale. Now prepare yourself for Om chanting and mantra chanting. Inhale. Now listen to the mantra. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Now together, inhale. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently go down your head towards the fingertips. Inhale, head up and open your eyes. Namaste, everybody. Welcome to the class. So, dear ones, how are you all? Good? Okay, very good. So, today we are here to learn about Shatkarma processes, right? The 6 cleansing processes of the internal body. So, let's start these cleansing processes. Everybody, now you can unmute yourself if you want. So, we will be asking questions and we will be discussing so much things. So, first of all, everybody, Shatkarma. What do you understand about this term, Shatkarma? I think we should place it right this side, right? So, Guruji, please. Okay. So, Shatkarma, everybody. Any previous idea about this thing, Shatkarma? What is this, or what kind of process is this? What it does in the body? Any other thing? Right?
It's a cleansing process. Cleansing process of the internal.
Of the internal body, cleansing process. Very good, Radhika ji. Very well said. Okay, everybody, let's understand first of all the meaning of this word. That explains everything, right? So, Shat Karma. Is this visible? Words are visible?
Yes.
Very good. So, Shat Karma word itself is divided in 2 parts, right? Here you see it divided in 2 parts. One is Shat here, which is a Sanskrit word, and Shat means here 6, right? And here another side we have the Karma word, and you very well know about this word. Karma means the actions. Okay, actions. So here we are going to understand about the 6 actions of Hatha Yoga. Okay, of Hatha Yoga. Okay, Hatha Yoga, everybody. And if you pay attention here to this word hatha. Hatha means little bit forcing yourself, right? Forcing yourself or kind of challenging your body, challenging your mind. So here, these kind of processes which cleanse the internal body, they are little bit challenging kind of processes. You might be thinking that, oh, this is too difficult to insert the water sometime, to vomit sometime, or to insert the thread in your nostril, take it out from your mouth. It's kind of difficult and it scares me. So that scare, that fear inside you, you have to get rid of that, right? So it's a mental practice as well. Understand it like this. 6 cleansing processes of Shatkarma are here. Let me show you. See, usually people ask me that what is the sequence. So there is different sequence of these 6 cleansing processes in Hatha Yoga and different sequences in the other Ghiranda Samhita, right? Both are the ancient Hatha or Yoga books. So Hatha Yoga explains a little bit differently and Ghiranda Samhita explains a little bit differently. But here, let's understand the common idea about it. So first practice here is Neti, right? Neti. If the word is visible to you, first practice is Neti. So first, everybody will understand the theoretical part of it, and then after the 11 around 11, we'll discuss the more you can say that practical part of it. And practical part and theoretical part both are important. If you will not understand the theoretical part, practical will be 100% difficult for you, right? Clear? Okay.
Yes.
Very good. So second process under Shatkarma is your dhoti, right? Neti and then dhoti, and then third process is here. If this light is coming, so here I can just a little bit. Word is clear, right? Then third one is, everybody, the Nauli, right? Then fourth one here is Basti, right? And fifth one, sorry, here is Kapalabhati. And Kapalabhati, I think you practice most of the time in pranayama, right? Kapalabhati.
Yes.
Very good. And then sixth one here, we have Trataka. Right? Trataka. This is how you have 6 Shatkarma processes in front of you. Okay. Again, repeating the name, the pronunciation: Neti, Dhoti, Nauli, Basti, Kapalabhati, and Trataka. Right? Perfect, everybody. Is that clear? Very good. Okay. Let's understand one by one what these are. First of all, understand, everybody, what the Neti is. Okay. Neti is actually cleansing of nasal passage. Okay. Nasal passage. Okay. And usually nasal passage include, as you know, sinus, right? Your sinus as well. And it includes your nostril, the hole from where you breathe in, right? Nostril. Okay. So cleansing of nasal passage and sinus and nostril. So right now, everybody, the question arises here that what is particularly there? What is inside the nostrils and what is inside my nasal passage, which I'm going to cleanse? So I am going to cleanse one thing present here, which is kind of sticky, gluey, and that is the mucus, right? So mucus is there. Scientific explanation, everybody, how this Neti works. It cleanses such parts, but what it cleanses from such part? It doesn't make the nostril away. It doesn't make the sinus, it doesn't remove out the sound. We need the sinus, right? So it cleanses mucus present there. And mucus have one function. It traps the bacteria. Okay, traps the bacteria, traps the viruses, right? And it protect us from harmful diseases such as, you can see these days viral fever is going on, and these days the cough cold, rotavirus can come inside the body and causes many kind of minute diseases, kind of cough cold and throat infection. So mucus is going to trap this, everybody. So we remove mucus from neti, and when we remove the mucus from neti, so now you will be thinking that if we need the mucus, so why we are removing this? We are removing this because mucus gets cold and old, right? So mucus have less power after a week inside your nostril, so it should be removed out with these processes so that your nostril cells can generate new mucus, fresh mucus, more powerful mucus. You got it? Okay, that's why such cleansing processes like neti is very important. Okay, now the types of neti. You understood, everybody, why we are doing neti? Okay, most important thing here that we perform neti one with few types. So these three types are very important. Understand here so that you can understand. And one of them we are, two of them we are going to perform today. So one is jalaneti, right? Jalaneti. Another is rubber-neti. And third one here is the Sutraneti. Right? Jalaneti, rubber-neti, and Sutraneti, everybody. Three specific types of neti. There are many more, but here the class is short, so we will discuss more popular types, which are like these days we are practicing more, right? And they are kind of very simple for common people as well. You can try it at home as well. Okay, so what is jalaneti? Jal means here the water. When we perform neti with the water, right? So jal means here water. Everybody keep asking me a question where you get confused, right? Water. So we perform with the water, and what happened with the water? So what happened with the water? Oh, sorry. What water we use? And for neti, let me show you this kind of pot we will use. Can you see this kind of pot? Here we will put the water inside it, right? And from here the water will come out, and here you can see this tip is open. Here you can see, and then here it goes inside one nostril, and then the water comes out from another nostril. Okay, and it cleanses and it touches the sinus, which is here, the upper nose here, right? And inside as well, and it cleanses the nasal tract, nasal passage here, and you can breathe well. Same time it removes the mucus out from your nostril. So water we use to cleanse. Everybody, we use lukewarm water. Very important. Do not practice it with the cold water. Okay, lukewarm water. Why we are using lukewarm water? Add warm here. Okay, lukewarm water. Why we are practicing it with the lukewarm water? So that it can give a massage, increase the blood flow inside the nostril cells. Okay, cells and tissues are having small blood capillaries inside the nostril, and these capillaries are going to get warmed up a little bit, right? If you practice it with the cold water, what will happen to you? The mucus will stick and become hard, and it's more tough than to remove out the mucus. So then instead of giving a benefit, instead of getting a benefit from the jalaneti, you might get something harmful, right? You might get some kind of terrible things, and you can catch cold, and bacteria can survive in cold. Okay, so you should always use lukewarm water. Second thing, everybody, the water should be saline. You understand saline word? Saline. Okay, saline means you must add little bit salt. Why we are adding salt here, everybody? We are adding salt here so that when the water goes inside the one nostril, nostril cells or any body cells have tendency to absorb the normal water, right? If you go into water, cells can absorb the water, but you are making concentration high of that water by adding salt in that water. You clear? Okay, so we add salt and we make concentration high so that the water doesn't get absorbed by the internal nasal tract cell. You got it? So that's why, and same time, the saline water have a kind of effect as a disinfectant, so it disinfects the nostril as well. So both benefit we are getting by making it saline. So lukewarm water plus saline water, and we perform the Jalaneti. So we will also explain you how we can make the water for Jalaneti and how much water you should take and what position you should take. Okay, so we will focus more in this Jalaneti afterwards, because this is the main item of today, the star element of today, right? Any question here, everybody, regarding Jalaneti?
Yeah, hello. Just one question.
Please.
Any kind of material, like plastic, is okay? Or because I see some, they have copper, any type of specific material?
Okay. See, as you know, the copper is helpful sometimes when we drink it, when we put it to the digestive system. But here, no way, there is no chance that it is going to digestive system. So if you use the plastic one, it's also good. And we are not using boiling water inside it. So that's why we will not get such plastic effect of this. So then you are asking question, right?
Yeah.
Very good. I can see you now. And then you can use the plastic one because we are using lukewarm water here. But you can use that copper one as well. It's kind of fancy and it doesn't you can clean it nicely. That's the thing. You can clean it nicely.
Yeah.
You can keep it for longer time period, for years. But plastic, when you keep it anywhere, so sometimes it does affect by the warm temperature, cold temperature. It catches the dust easily. So you have to take care a lot of this pot. But there you can be a little bit careless and you can clean that particular copper pot, and then you can use it.
Okay, great, thank you. And how much salt do we need to put in?
That particular amount I will tell you in the practical class, because we will tell you to prepare the water, how to prepare.
Oh, very good. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
So, any other question, everybody? Okay, let's go further, everybody. Next is we have Sutraneti. Oh, so before the Sutraneti, everybody, we have the rubber neti. If you can see my second step, rubber neti. See, everybody, a rubber neti is we are going to use a catheter, a rubber, and we are going to insert it here to the nostril, and then it goes all the way to the nasal tract, and then it come back down here to your throat, where this part is called pharynx, right? Pharynx. And through the pharynx, it goes a little bit down, and then you can feel it in your throat, and then you insert 2 fingers and you take it out from the mouth. It's little bit little bit technical and tough. It looks sometimes ridiculous as well, but when you do it, it cleans you nicely. And sometimes when you do it for first time, so it makes out all the mucus which is trapped in your throat, which is trapped in your trachea, and which is causing you cold again and again and again. Maybe for the first time you will vomit a little bit, but for the second time it will be perfect and nice, right? And then it opens that part which is blocked usually, and it prepares you for the next step, which is Sutraneti. In the Sutraneti, instead of taking this catheter of rubber, we use the cotton cloth, right? So cotton cloth one is more intense. So actually Jalaneti is kind of preparation. We check how much water is coming. A lot of people do Jalaneti, right? Small streams come here, small stream. Sometime you see big stream and nicely water is flowing. That means nostrils are more open, in which the water comes more nicely. That means the person can do a rubber neti easily. That shows the nostril holes are kind of open. But if you cannot, then it's kind of a little bit stuck, so you have to wait a little bit. So let me show you what you use for that. And you use this kind of catheter, everybody. Can you see this kind of catheter? This visible, right? This visible, right? So this one you use, and always check there is one hole. Can you see this hole, everybody? This hole, right? And here another side, if you see, is kind of stuck. So sometimes people make this circles as well, like this. They make a circle of it. So then they take it out and then they keep rotating it like this, keep rotating it like this. But in the first time you should not rotate it. Okay, whatever you are taking it out with this catheter, again you are putting it in. So rotation is, I think I will not suggest you for the first time. For the first time, easily what you have to do is, usually, let me show you a little bit, and Guruji gonna demonstrate you very nicely. But little bit you stand up like this and you tilt your head towards up, so that it can easily go in, and then you insert inside your nostril, and then slowly it goes all the way here, and from here you insert the finger, tongue out, and slowly with the washed hand, because if hands will have a lot of mucus, so it will be a little bit difficult to grab this wet part, and then you take it out and then you perform neti, right? That's why this is only demonstration and kind of practical for us, not for you, right? But if you would have come here to Rishikesh, so definitely you must have practiced this Sutra Niti, right, everybody? So, oh, Zara, you're crying? Seriously? Seriously? You're crying?
No,
No.
I just had an experience of swabbing, the swabbing.
Ah.
So
Oh,
it
okay,
feels, I think it's also uncomfortable, like what you just.
I told you, this is all about the mind-body connection, everybody.
Yeah.
If your mind is not prepared for this, then it's difficult for you. But if you are calm down with your mind and slowly, see, a lot of people, they cannot insert it and they cannot go more further because their nostril passage is kind of restrict like this. So we suggest them to put an oil or ghee, clarified butter, and then slowly to rotate this thing, slowly to rotate. Initially you will get a lot of sneezes, okay, but it's okay, it's kind of practice. One day this, next day little more, next day little more, next day you can reach here, next day you can reach here. But I'm saying next day means like after 2 days, after 3 days, okay, 2-day interval, 3-day interval. Do not practice it daily. This practice you should practice at least twice or thrice in a week, not much more than that. At least 1 day gap should be there. Or for the beginners, I would recommend only twice in a week, or once in a week, like Sunday, next Sunday, or Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, Thursday, Sunday, like this you should practice it. And only in the morning time, when your body is calmed down, temperature is not too much high, environment is subtle. So this is how you should practice it. We'll tell you more about this afterwards, right? Okay, then everybody, next is here Sutra Neti, and Sutra Neti is kind of little bit intense. Sutra Neti. In this Sutra Neti, we will take cotton cloth, not too much fine, only 2 finger broader. Usually it is 2 finger broader, and then we will take just this much longer, like this much longer, and then we waxify the initial part of it. For example, imagine this is cotton cloth, and we are going to waxify this. Waxing means, if you have heard of the paraffin wax is kind of candle wax, but it's more kind of strong one. So it gives the cloth a stretcher. It makes the cloth harder a little bit. Harder means so that it can go inside. Otherwise, think about it, you are inserting the cloth in your nostril. How easy the cloth is. It will not go anywhere, right? So you have to make it a little bit tighter so it can go inside, and then you can take it out from your mouth, and then you cleanse your nasal passage. After this practice, everybody, your breath will be fine, mucus will be gone, you will be increasing new fresh mucus in your nostril nasal passage, and your voice will be more open. And a lot of people have such a vertigo kind of issue. A lot of people will not able to sleep, insomnia. So such kind of problems can be solved with Jalaneti and little practice of Rubber Neti, because it touches the sinus and it also touches the midbrain, and that is called the the pineal gland is there, which is responsible for sleep. So, and hypothalamus as well, scientifically is kind of a little bit technical. So it induces that as well. If you regularly practice this, regularly means in a particular interval. Jalaneti, no doubt you can practice it daily, but Sutraneti for beginners once in a week, okay, or twice in a week if you are kind of okay with it. Okay, everybody. And Sutraneti is, as you understand.
Sorry, can you show us that cloth that's used for Sutra Neti? Just to give us an idea of the size of the cloth.
Oh, okay, wait a minute, huh? Let me, I don't have the cloth right now, but I have something. So I have, very good, give it to me. I have one video. So that video might, give you an idea that how it is going to be. Let's see, huh? But be ready, Zara. Don't cry, huh? Zara is just crying.
I'm very sensitive to pain.
Visible? Can you see everybody?
Yes, it's like a
That
thread.
cotton cloth. This one. Vaxified initial part, and you can bend it anywhere. And he is doing 2 at once, 2 nostril at once. This is how the Sutraneti looks like. Sutra, cotton cloth. See. And then you just, you do slowly. He's very intense practitioner, but you should do it kind of a little slowly, right? And you cleanse it. That's it. This is enough for you. Okay. Okay. Everybody.
Thank you.
There is one thing. Thank you very much. So there is one thing that always when we insert it like this, so a lot of people take it out like this. Not good. Okay. It should come out because the end is broader. This is the back, which is open, and this is the front, which should go in, which is blocked, right? So here you should go like this, and then this is how, and you should take it out like this. Okay, from the mouth, not back from nostril. No. You should not practice like this.
But
a lot of people I have seen,
what in case we're trying, right? When I was in Rishikesh, our Guruji, I couldn't get it out because I had that gagging sensation, like I want to throw up, because obviously it's something new. So now, obviously, when we start a little bit and we can't go any further, we have to take it out for our nostrils, isn't it?
100%. That is also mind control, Radhika ji. Right? Your adrenaline gland becomes, oh, what I did, it's stuck there. Oh, I have to remove it. Right? And you become panic. So you have to be calm that nothing will happen to me and I can get it out. So easy. That's it. But I think nostrils were a little bit blocked.
Yes, but I think so many years we are trying to keep things out of our nostrils.
Yes.
And then suddenly we are told, insert something on your own in your nostrils.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Mentally, it's a big change because you feel a natural tendency to remove anything in your nose,
100%, you take time. Okay. So everybody, let's move forward to the next part. And next part here, as you see, is, let me remove this part so that we can understand the next part. Next part here is, everybody, the dhoti. Okay, dhoti. Dhoti is practice of the upper digestive tract cleansing. Okay, it cleanses the cleansing of upper digestive tract, right? Cleansing of upper digestive tract. And what is upper digestive tract, everybody? If you focus, so here, your mouth, your food pipe, and your stomach here. 3 things fall in upper digestive tract. So your mouth, your food pipe, which is called esophagus. So let me write it down: food pipe, so you can understand it easily, and the stomach. Three things fall under the upper digestive tract. So it cleanses three important things. Okay, so it also can be done with the water, can be done with the cloth. There are few parts of it. So there are most probably I will tell you two parts which are kind of common and generally used. So one is the Vaman dhoti. Vaman dhoti. D means dhoti, everybody. I'm writing in the short. So D means dhoti here, right? So Vaman dhoti. And next one is Vastra dhoti. Right? Vaman dhoti plus Vastra dhoti. Two types. Now, Vaman is a Sanskrit word, right? Vaman, Sanskrit word which means vomit, right? Vomiting. And usually the woman also termed as sometime and well known with the name of Kunjal Kriya. Okay, we call it Kunjal Kriya. Kunjal means, as you see this pot, you put the water in it and you rotate it and you wash it. When you wash the utensils, right? So this rotation is Kunjal, right? You washing it when you wash the utensils. But here you are washing your digestive tract. You drink the water. In this Vaman dhoti, you prepare the water for yourself, salt water, and you add little drops of lemon, like 1 teaspoon of lemon. Okay, for example, you prepare at least 1 or 2 liter water for you, and you add at least 2-3 teaspoon of the you can say that lemon juice, and then you can add 2, 3 or 4 at least 4-5 teaspoon of salt. Right, you make it little salty and little lemony, so that it can go in and it can cleanse. Saline water again, but you have to drink it properly, quickly. You have to drink in the morning, empty stomach, after your bowel movement, right? When you're fresh with your stomach, nothing is there, you drink water and you make yourself full up to here. Then after this, you are about to vomit. You go to appropriate place, you put 2 fingers, and then you throw up. Okay, but it should be very quick, everybody. Quick means a lot of girls I have seen, a lot of students I have seen, they're enjoying. Oh, this is yuck. Oh, this is very, oh, this is not good. Oh, this is again not good. So they're enjoying this. Okay, or they're discussing it. So discussion is not there. This is the kriya, practice to cleanse your digestive tract. You have to make it. This is a therapy. Okay, so you should drink it quickly, no matter how gagged you are feeling. When it is kind of 100% gag, like you are about to throw up, close your mouth, go to appropriate place, put the fingers. And I think when you just, kind of, you have the sensation of gag, so you will not need 2 fingers, but you must. A lot of time we do vomit for one time, throw up one time, and we think, oh, done, everything is done. No, water is still there. You must insert the water 2-3 times. You must insert the finger, and 2-3 times you must gag. You must vomit, right? And then when you insert the finger and nothing is coming out, then it's done. Okay, and then there is prescription that after Vaman dhoti, you should not eat too much kind of, fatty food, oily food, because your stomach is cleansed with the excess of bile. Okay, excess of bile is gone, excess of pancreatic juice is gone, excess of HCl inside your stomach is gone. So you must use khichdi, and the mucus is also gone. So here some of the ghee is inside, right? Can you see the ghee? The clarified butter. So you should add ghee into your khichdi. Right now, let me tell you what is khichdi. You know khichdi? No idea khichdi? Khichdi.
Lentils and rice.
Basically, yes, rice and lentil soup. Thick rice and lentil soup. Usually we use mung dal, right? Or mung beans with the rice. And then we prepare the khichdi out of it. We cook it well, and we just add few things like little turmeric and little salt. Not too much spices. Do not make it a dish. It's just a thing for a therapy. It cleanses you. Is it clear, everybody? Woman dhoti is clear? So twice in a month you should practice it. Twice in a month. Okay. Yes, Radhika ji, question.
Guru, I just want to know how much of water, just to clarify, are we taking sips of water and then trying to gag, or we must have like a few cups of water to fill up our tummy?
1 jug of water, no cups, no sips. Drink it. Okay. Usually we take jugs of water. At least 1 liter should go in. Okay, and it is, I think it varies body to body. Sometimes person is thin and stomach size is small, so then 1 liter is enough for person, or half liter is enough for person. I think maybe yes, this much. More than this, everybody. In this process, it depends like how much water you can drink. Until you don't feel any gag sensation, you keep drinking. And when you think like it's up to here and I cannot drink more, then throw up. Radhika ji, clear?
Yes, so you insert the 2 fingers, take out whatever, you don't drink any more water, you insert your fingers again and take out as much. How does that work?
100%. 100%. Okay, drink
Okay.
1 time only and then throw up
Okay.
2-3 times so that every drop of water can come out.
Okay.
Yes, Suzanne.
Yes, just sorry, you said around 4 teaspoons of salt and 4 teaspoons of lemon,
Yes.
or tablespoon.
Yes.
Or
So teaspoon. See,
teaspoon.
it depends. If I am taking 1 liter of water, so
Yeah.
at least I will need 4 teaspoons and 4 teaspoons of lemon juice. If I'm taking 2 liter of water, so then you
Yeah.
have to double this, right? So usually like this is the, like it should taste salty a little bit.
Yeah.
Then it's kind of perfect. It should
Okay.
taste a little bit lemony. Then it's kind of perfect, right?
Okay, thank you.
Radhika ji, any other question? Yes.
Yes, sorry, man. The salt, pink salt, black salt, ordinary table, white salt, which is the best salt to use?
Usually the rock salt is kind of good one, but you can take any iodized salt. The white one, usually we take the white one. Let me show you how much salt we take. So this one, if you can see a little bit, this salt, white salt, which we usually cook with, right? We usually add into the cookings. So this white salt, iodized salt, it have a good amount of iodine. Any iodized salt you can take, right?
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Next process, everybody. Next process is Vastra Dhoti. Vastra Dhoti is a process where you have to take 4-finger border cloth, cotton one, thin one, right? And then you take 7-meter long cloth, 4-finger border plus 7-meter longer. You have a roll of it, right? You dip into the water, and in the morning after your bowel movement you start to eat it. You eat it full, you make it in your stomach. You know, as you mop your floor, पोछा लगाते हैं विनीता जी, पोछा लगाते हैं, mop your floor. So same, you have to mop your stomach, right? You eat cloth and then you do the another process called noli, in which you rotate your belly muscles, right? You rotate your belly muscles. So it's kind of mopping. So that cloth is going to absorb bile from your stomach, HCl from your stomach, cleanse the stagnant stool, and then after this you take it out from your mouth, and it comes with everything. So it's like kind of very intense practice. Usually the students of Master of Yoga and usually the intense Shatkarma professionals only, they perform it. So this is kind of common, and this is kind of little, you need the guidance of someone when you're doing it, and you need the person in front of you. Online kind of this teaching, you can demonstrate it, but teaching it is a little bit difficult, right? Let me show you. I have something for you, so maybe you can understand with this process. Can you see, everybody, this? He's dipping the cloth and he have taken the cloth. And now he has started to eat. And he's eating. Okay, you have to open it, eat it, and then sometime you take sips of water when it's kind of dry for you. See, he's taking the sips of water, sips only. This is mop going inside your stomach, right? And then you have to eat full 7-meter long cloth. But as quick you will make it, you have to overcome your gag sensations as well. You will gag a lot if you have no willpower. So your willpower should be strong. That's why it's the practice of Hatha Yoga. Hat means forcing yourself a little bit in a good way. It's gonna be a little bit longer, so let me show you. Okay, what happens when the cloth, this much is left only. And sips again, and now cloth is done. Don't eat too much, otherwise it will go inside, right? You have to left little bit part of it outside. Don't cry. Okay, left little bit part of it outside. Very good. You can see a gentleman is like eating nicely. See, this much part is left, right? Out of 7-meter long cloth, this much part is left. And then you just, relax yourself and you're done eating. Then in this practice, what you do is you stand. That's it. This is it. And then you stand up. Okay, and you perform Noli process. Noli is next process. I'm going to elaborate this. So here you contract the belly muscle with the Uddiyana Bandha and you move the belly here and there. You mop the stomach, right? 2-3 times. And this is how you mop. Don't worry if you have bulging belly, still can do the Noli. All you need is willpower. And then this is little bit critical part, so it's okay, huh? Do not hear the voices. So then you slowly take out the cloth. So it comes out greenish, yellowish, fully loaded with the bile of your stomach. If you do it for first time, but for next time it will be kind of cleanse. Not too much bile, not too much stomach. And then after this process, you have to eat khichdi for next 1 day, and do not eat the milk product for next 3 days. Okay, so precautions after this, and this is how you do it, everybody.
Wow.
Clear? The Vastra Dhoti. It is kind of intense practice. Here in Masters of Yoga, we have kind of competitions of that. How quickly you can eat it, how quickly you can take it out. So people eat very quickly. Okay.
One question.
Please go ahead, Radhika ji.
What about the breath control when you're doing that? I'm not going to be planning to do that anytime soon. That's a little advanced. But I'm just talking about, I noticed he was eating, so how does he control breath?
Okay, see, you are breathing with your nostril, right? You are breathing with your nostril and you are just taking, but of course it increases the heart rate as well. When you try to eat, when you have gag sensation, your breath becomes too much faster. That you need to control. You should be a good pranayama practitioner. Okay, and then you breathe with your nostril, you calm down yourself and you try to eat, and you eat quickly. If you eat and think, oh, it is not going inside, it will be difficult then for you, right? So self-control, close your eyes, gag sensation, controlling, and then eating. This is how you should control it. And this is how the breath pattern will be. Normal breathing pattern, right? Okay, ji. Let's move further, everybody, to the next practice. This is done, dhoti is done, right? And here we have next practice, and that is called Noli. Noli is basically, everybody, is the massage of digestive tract. Okay, massage of digestive tract. It's not the cleansing. Basically, it's the massage, increasing the blood flow. Vinita ji, a little bit. You have to mute yourself. So the noises are coming from there. Mute yourself a little bit. Okay. Thank you, Vinita ji. So massage of digestive tract, everybody. You roll your belly muscles left, right, and you massage it. What happens? See, there are 3 types of nollies. Basically, we learn 3 types of nolli first of all, and this is the madhya nolli, right? First one madhya nolli, second one vama nolli, and third one here is dakshina nolli. Okay, dakshina nolli. So madhya means the middle, means when you do it, when you just exhale fully and you make it in the middle. And then vama means the left side, when you move it towards your left side, the belly muscles, and dakshina means the right side, when you move it towards the right. Let me write here, left and right. Okay, this practice is also early in the morning and no food, empty stomach after your bowel movement, right? Okay, you have to stand. Okay, please. So here, let me show you this process nolli. We have Rahulji here. Okay, so Rahulji will perform this nolli process. So here, see, first of all, you have to make the Uddiyana Bandha and then the Madhya nolli. Can you see? Okay, this is the Madhya nolli, and then you start to shift it towards the left and shift it towards the right, and this is how rotation goes on. Okay, rotations of the nolli. So you have to get the flexible belly muscles for this. Okay, and empty stomach, otherwise the muscles will not go. Again Madhya nolli, Guruji. Yes, relax here. So here you see everybody, the digestive organs blood flow is constricted, vessels are constricted. When you lose it, relax, good blood supplies goes to your digestive tract, and this is how it massages with the blood flow, with the pressure of your abdominal muscles, right? A lot of people cannot do nolli, so here they practice one as a primary practice, as a preparation for nolli, they practice the Agnisara. Okay, Agnisara is when you make the belly lock, Uddiyana Bandha, right? You, very good, exhale nicely, and then you lose the belly, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. This practice you should do first of all, right? The Agnisara process. This is how the Agnisara happens. This prepares you for nolli, right? Relax, Guruji. Okay, let me spell the name of that process, and that process is termed as Agnisara. Only early in the morning, everybody, and the high blood pressure people should not perform it, because it increases the blood pressure, and so that high blood pressure should not do it. Yes, question, Radhika ji.
What about those with lots of belly fat? Can they do that
Sorry?
with the belly fat, or they have to wait to lose that belly fat?
No. See, have you just recently you have seen one video of Sutraneti? The guy was having belly, right? A big belly.
Yes.
With the big belly, he was also doing the same. You can say that the nolli process. So you can also perform with little bit fat, and it also helps you to get rid of that belly fat, right? And it also gives you control over your digestive system a little bit. It prepares you for better pranayama. It gives you a power in your breath, right? Okay. So this is how everybody you have to do nolli. Nolli should be practiced, I think, only once in a month, not very often. But if you are in a learning phase, so you must practice in 4-day interval for few seconds, 3-day interval for few seconds, And then when you become master, so you should control this at least 10 breaths and 3 rounds when you perform it. And you must practice holding left, holding right, holding middle, and rotation for at least half minute, 1 minute, and then next month you should practice it. But if you are intense, you can practice twice in a month as well. Suzanne, question?
Yeah, just you said that Agni Sara is something to start off with. So is it like you just bend down and then you just inhale and exhale? Like inhale and exhale your belly?
See, Agni Sara is preparation for Noli, right?
Yeah.
First, you should practice Agni Sara, which will make your belly muscles kind of looser. So, in this practice, you should exhale first of all properly, and belly muscle stick to the back, and then you should make that's kind of lose it, hold it, lose it, take it, lose it, take it. But breath will be holding, right? Only belly muscles will contract and lose, contract and lose. But breath, you are holding. You are making a Uddiyana Bandha. Radhika ji.
No, it's like the bandha, the Mahabandha, where you draw in your tummy. That's the Agni Sara exercise. You draw in and hold it tight towards the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But initially, yes, initially the practitioners cannot make the Mahabandha. So you should make only Uddiyana Bandha. It's kind of, you should see yourself. Uddiyana Bandha is enough in the beginning, and then you can, practice with the Mahabandha. Mahabandha means when the throat, belly, and genitals, 3 become locked, and then you practice this Agni Sara process. Right? Clear, everybody?
So can we practice Agni Sara every day, every morning?
Rita ji is asking a question, right?
Yes.
Can we practice Agni Sara every day in the morning? Yes. Initially, you should practice like interval of 1 day or 2 days. As I told you before, interval of 2 days or 1 day should be there, because it prepares.
And how long should we do it for?
At least, it's up to you. After this, why we should have an interval? Because they are muscles, and muscles become fatigued. They will lose their energy, and how much you try, you cannot go further. So that's obvious. Like it's up to you how strong your muscles are, how late your muscles get fatigued. So it's up to you, right?
Okay.
Rita ji?
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Very good. Very good. So 2 days interval will recover your muscles and will prepare you again for next practice session. So this is how you can practice. Radhika ji, you were asking me again another question?
No.
Okay. Let's go further, everybody. Let's move to the next practice. Then we have to go for practicals as well, because it's already 11. So next one comes, everybody, Basti process, right? Basti process, Basti is the process where you cleanse the lower digestive tract. Okay, lower digestive tract. And lower digestive tract includes the large intestine. Okay, the large intestine. And large intestine, and more often the rectum part. Because here we have a lot of stagnant stool, because the constipation makes us kind of, very, very cleanse, very kind of uncleansed with the lower digestive tract part. Lower digestive tract have a lot of stagnant stool there, food particles there, and maybe it can cause you constipation for long term, and it can cause you piles as well. Okay, so that should be removed out. So for the lower large intestinal place or intestinal area, we use these 2 methods. One is called the Jalabasti, and one is called the Sthalabasti. Right? Jalbasti and Sthalbasti. Jalbasti and Sthalbasti. Everybody, Jalbasti is usually when you sit in a bucket and the water is warm, lukewarm again, lemon salt is added already as you prepare for the kunjal. So same, you have to prepare a little bit more so that you can sit on the tub and you must practice this in your bathroom or in your toilet. So here you suck the water from your anus and you just squeeze it out in your toilet, right? So you cleanse the lower digestive area. So you suck the water in from anus and you lose it there, but it's kind of difficult. So that's why in modern, in a modern way, we use another Basti process, which is kind of enema. I think enema is well known, well known by everybody. So they insert the catheter in the anus, and then the catheter is linked with the pipe and the water supply or the medicated herb water supply, right? It goes inside, it initiates the poop sensation, you go and you poop and you cleanse it out. So you have to go through several sessions and then you cleanse your lower digestive tract area. And there is more modern technique which is called colon hydrotherapy, where the forceful water is in, pipe inserted in the colon, and that cleans the colon part or the rectal part of the large intestine. Another is, everybody, the Sthal Basti. Sthal means the dry place. So here you use the air. Okay, you use the air, you sit in a Paschimottanasana and you inhale and you try to exhale, you try to push your rectum and you try to push the air out from your rectal area, from your anus area, right? So Sthal Basti, dry Basti. Sometimes you practice such thing in the Malasana as well. Malasana, Guruji, Malasana here. Okay, Malasana, let me show you Malasana, or let me show you, yes. In the Malasana, sometimes you sit and you inhale and you exhale. You try to exhale with the anal part, and maybe something can some weird sounds you can hear, so be ready for that. And another one is, the usual one is in the Paschimottanasana. Okay, very good. You inhale and you lift up yourself and you exhale. You don't bend too much forward, just grab your toes, very good here, and try to push everything out from your anus part. So this is what you practice in Sthal Basti. This is kind of very tough practice, and usually it needs more control over your digestive tract. Right, everybody? Question, Radhika ji.
When you're doing the Jal Basti, does that
Jal
also
Basti.
say, yes, if you're doing it in your tub or whatever you're trying, does that also get you going that you want to go poop in the toilet after that, or does you have to do it after your bowel movements? How does that work?
After
Like
the bowel movement, 100%. After the bowel movement, cleanse yourself automatically as you cleanse in the morning, and then you should go and practice this in the toilet, right? Yeah. So like clean water intake and flush it out in your toilet. Clean water intake with the tub, flush it out. But it's kind of, it takes time to learn this. To control your rectal muscle is kind of tough part. It's like not easy as it sounds, right? Okay, everybody, let's go for the next part here. And next part here we have the Kapalabhati. And Kapalabhati, I guess, is well known with everybody, right? Kapalabhati, the skull shining. It shines the skull with the breath. So this is actually cleansing of the skull area, or cleansing of the, you can say that, cerebral area. Skull in common term, okay, or the cerebral area, technically, your head, right? Cerebral. So cleansing technique of Kapalabhati usually can be done with three process according to Gheranda Samhita, and this is one of the process, and this is called Vata Karma. Okay, Vata Karma Kapalabhati, the first practice. Second is the Vyuta Karma, Kapalabhati. Third is here the Shita Karma Kapalabhati. Okay, Shita Karma Kapalabhati. Everybody, Vata Karma is with the air, right? Is with the air. Usually, Vata Karma Kapalabhati you practice in pranayama, and more technically, it is practiced like, you have to make this Vishnu Mudra, and here you close one nostril and you exhale here, and then you go for this. Okay, and sometime other practices with both. Okay, so this can be practiced after Jalaneti. Understand, when you water, then water drops can be out with the Kapalabhati. So Kapalabhati is very important after Jalaneti process. It makes every single drop out from your nostril. Okay, both. So one alternative Kapalabhati and both nostril Kapalabhati. You got it? Very simple. Kapalabhati is forceful exhalation of the breath. So alternative Kapalabhati is when you block the right one and you go with the left nostril, and block the left one, go with the right one, and then with the both. This one, right? Rekha ji, very welcome. I have noticed you here. Namaste.
I have a question.
Please go ahead asking me.
Can you do Vata Karma Kapalbhati without doing Jalaneti? Can it be done either or how does it work?
100%. See, Vata Karma Kapalabhati, as I mentioned, it is practiced under pranayama. So there we do not practice daily the Jalaneti kind of process. So we can do it for the warm up as well sometime for many of the exercises, and sometime we can do it for our personal benefit to increase the heart rate, to increase the blood flow, and to increase the the heart function. So like it's very easy. You can practice in the morning as well.
Right.
Without
So
the Jalaneti.
empty stomach.
Empty stomach, 100%. 100%. Pranayama will work for you when you practice it empty stomach or light stomach. You can have a small green tea kind of, so it's kind of okay.
Okay.
So if it's done empty stomach, it's more beneficial, I guess.
Right. Thank you so much.
Okay, welcome. So everybody, now let's understand Vyut Karma. Vyut literally means the reverse. Okay, reverse of what? Reverse of Sheet Karma. So first of all, let's understand what is Sheet Karma, then we'll understand the reverse. Sheet means cold and Karma means the action. Sometimes in the summers your nostril become too much warm. You throw your breath and you see how warm it is. So this is the practice where you drink water from the mouth and you expel it out from your nostril. Okay, so it does two effects. It cleanses the nostril, and second thing, it makes the nostril cold, calm down, dry. Okay, so this is how Sheet Karma is to practice to make nostril this passage cold. So with the cold water you can perform it sometime, or with the lukewarm water you can practice it, and this will help if you have very intense cough and cold. So it removes out that cough particles as well, and it prepares you for the betterment of your nostril and nasal and respiratory health, right? And Vyut Karma is reverse of Sheet Karma, reverse of cold one. So reverse is when you inhale the water from your nostril and you directly put it in your stomach, and then you perform vomiting sometime, or you just make it out from your stomach. So it's the longer and little technical process. You need the guidance for this with Karma Kapalabhati. Inhaling the water with the nostril is kind of difficult part, otherwise it can go in. So you need to be aware like where the water is going. So you need practice. You must do this practice under the guidance of good gurus or good teachers, right? Okay, very good,
Right.
everybody. Yes,
Right.
please, question. Okay, no question then. Everybody, let's go for the next practice, which is the Trataka. Yes,
Anandji,
Rekha ji is
Rekha
asking.
here.
Please,
So
please.
usually when I have practiced Kapal Bhati, we also use
Okay.
the stomach, right? Though the nose is there, you also the stomach, you expel the air. The stomach is also moving quite
100%.
strongly, right? There's a
100%.
because you really feel it in your abs when you do Kapal Bhati, like
100%.
50, 100 times. Your abs really will hurt, right?
Yes.
The abs, you really feel it in the abs also, right? Is that part of this, or is that a separate thing altogether?
Okay, so here, if you're asking about the pranayama Kapalbhati practice,
Okay,
so
this
we
is the
are
Shat
only
Karma.
talking about the
Shat
it is
Karma
the actual
Kapalbhati.
Shat Karma practice. Yes.
Okay.
And we practice under the pranayama as well. But if you are having some pain here in the belly muscles, that means
Yeah.
the area around this area, area
Yeah.
around the abdominal muscles is kind of weaker.
Okay.
Okay, so you should do it more often. Like if you perform it daily, it's better for you. So
Correct.
slowly your muscle will gain the strength, okay, to swell up and to contract, swell up and contract. Because if you will not do it too often, so muscles will not contract and stretch that much, especially abdominal and obliques muscle here, right? Because
Right.
see, you inhale, they need power to go in, and if you have weak
Right.
abdominal muscles, so they will not go in and they will have some pain,
Okay. So the
right?
pranayama, yeah. So Kapalbhati pranayama and Kapalbhati Shatkarma are different.
No,
No, they're same, right?
the actual Kapalbhati is the practice of Shatkarma. Because of it is
Okay.
related with the breath, the yogis practice it under the pranayama as well. Because it is the
Okay, got it.
prana ayama. That's why they practice in the
Okay.
pranayama as well. And it is beneficial. So separate, what is beneficial for us, we took it, right? We have the tree of apple, tree of banana, tree of this. You like only banana. You took the banana, right? So it is like this. Very basic thing.
Okay.
Okay, everybody, let's go for the last practice, and then
Sorry,
we'll
I
Yes,
can I
please,
ask one question?
100%, Rita ji, go ahead.
What was Vyata Karma?
Oh, with karma,
Kapalbhati? With Karma. Okay.
with karma, with
What was that?
means reverse of it. So reverse means, see, in Shita Karma Kapalbhati, you drink water, you expel it out from your nostril. But here, you drink from nostril or you inhale from nostril, and then you
Oh.
expel it out from your mouth. That's
Okay, okay. Okay. Thank you.
okay, Rita ji.
Thank you.
Welcome. Let's go for the last practice, everybody, and then we'll move to the practical part of it. And this is here Trataka, everybody. Trataka is the cleansing. Usually people call it the meditative technique, but I personally do not prefer to call it a meditative technique. I will call it a cleansing technique. Okay, cleansing of eyeballs and lacrimal glands. More technical, lacrimal glands. Okay, do you know what is lacrimal gland, everybody? The tear gland of yours. Okay, if you see the structure of eye like this, if there is eye, right, there is your eyeball. So here around your, these lashes, there are a lot of particle, dust particle, bacteria particle, and then they cause here sometimes the pus, right, which is you see in the morning. So to get rid of this internal bacteria, there is a liquid, right? Of course, there is a liquid which traps everything out. So you must cry after a while, not with a sadness, but for a cleansing purpose. You must cry. So this let you cry. So you focus on a particular object with open eye, and then you have tears in your eyes. Your lacrimal glands here on the bottom become active, and then they just put water everywhere and your eye get cleansed. And that, initially you see your like tears are not very clean, but afterwards they come very clean. Okay, so cleansing of eyeballs and your lacrimal gland. Otherwise lacrimal glands will become dry. Usually a lot of people who cry a lot, lacrimal gland do not give you tear. Then someone can be blaming you. You're faking, you're not crying, no tears are coming, right? So you should be making this active after a while and cleansing the eyeball. So there are some techniques by which you can do it, everybody. And let me tell you, can I rub this so that I can tell you more? Okay, very good.
Yes, thank you.
Welcome. Let's go. And everybody, we have two types of the Trataka. Antara Trataka. Antar means internal, right? Internal. Where you focus on the third eye with the closed eye. Okay. Closed eye Trataka. Antar means internal Trataka. This can be meditative technique. So third eye, when you particularly focus on third eye, you focus on the heart chakra. Okay, you focus on the Mooladhara chakra. 3 points are there, right? 3 points you can focus on. You just imagine the circle. You can sometimes you imagine the Om, whatever is kind of possible for you, right? And then you can imagine more things there. So this is internal Trataka, Antara Trataka. There is one more practice, and that is called Bahir Trataka or Bahya Trataka. Okay, Bahya means external, right? External Trataka. Okay, an external Trataka can be done when you gaze on particular object. Most common are the Jyoti Trataka. Jyoti Trataka. You understand, Jyoti is a Sanskrit word which means the flame. Okay, usually we go candle glazing kind of thing. So that is Jyoti Trataka. Okay, we just focus on the flame. And then there is Bindu Trataka. Most commonly practiced Bindu Trataka. And Bindu Trataka, Bindu means a circle, a dot, right? So where you focus on the mandalas, where the circles are there, and where it's difficult to find out the center of circle. So you give some tension to your mind, so that where is the center. So this is how you can do these 2 types of Trataka, Jyoti and Bindu. This is how Trataka practice can be done. This one is more the cleansing one, and this one is more the meditative one. But here sometimes people these days are using Jyoti Trataka as a meditative technique. But it can hurt your eyes if you too much practice, too much open, too much stare, okay? And you stop blinking the natural habit, so it can hurt your muscles of eye, right? Any question?
Is that
Radhika
okay?
Ji. Radhika Ji, Rita Ji, first of all, your question. Please go ahead.
Is that okay if it hurts your muscles around the eyes? That's normal, natural?
100% initially it will hurt. It will hurt inside the eyeballs because you are stopping your eyelids to get closed. But if you have pain here around the eye muscles, in the cheekbones, zygomatic bones and zygomatic muscles, so here you should do not stare for too. Once the tear are out, stop it. First tear, stop it, right?
Okay.
And then
Okay.
next day try twice to cry. But imagine when you cry for first time, tears will not come out easily for the second time. So you need practice for that. Slow practice, progressive practice. Do not practice at one time that I will cry for 4 times. No.
Right.
One time is enough, right?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Radhika Ji.
Yes, 2 questions. Does that
Please.
help with the improving our eyesight, or that's only a cleansing for the eyeball?
Only the cleansing of eyeballs, the internal eye cleansing.
Okay.
Okay.
So when we are say we're doing the candle gazing, now must we stop as soon as the tears come? Or must keep doing it until more tears come?
See, there will be a process when your tear will load your eye, and definitely this upper lashes will stick to the lower one, right? There is a stoppage point. You should stop there. Okay. Let the tear comes. If your eyes are not about to blink, let it hold. Okay. Hold it, let it go, and then close it when it comes too much, and then where there is a load, your eyes, tears will not come out quickly. Tears will load, there will be, and then they will come here, and then definitely you should just close it. And that is the finishing of the first step. And you should practice 3-4 days. The first one, interval should be there, everybody. Keep in mind, always 2-3 days interval. Do not practice that one day, in one day you will become a master of this practice. No. Be easy on yourself. Any other question, everybody here? Good, then let's go to and let's jump to another part, and that is the Neti part and Jalaneti and Sutra Neti. Guruji, be ready for that then. इधर ही करते थे, कहाँ करें बताओ? So remove this one and then we'll perform here. So Adi Yoga will come, right? Okay. So here, this is mine. So very good everybody. So we are preparing. Guruji isko side kar dijiye us taraf. Okay. Okay, everybody, let me explain few more things. See, first let's understand Jalaneti, right? For the Jalaneti, all you need is one Jalaneti pot. Okay, cleanse it, check it if it is going. Give me this bucket. Very good. और पानी भी दे दो गुरुजी, बैठो यहाँ पे, पानी यहाँ पे रखो. Put the water here, and we need salt and the Jalaneti pot. You need your body, your nostril is very important. Without this, no Jalaneti, right? Okay. And water बहुत गर्म है, पानी और लाओ, पानी गर्म लगी. Okay, and you need water. You must insert your cleansed pinky finger to check how it is feel. Can you bear it or not? If it's too much warm, it will give tears to you, and tears automatically come, or it will make a burning sensation inside your nostril. It should be lukewarm, so your pinky finger, keep it for 1-2 seconds. If you don't feel anything, that's it, it is ready for, right? Okay, adding the salt is very important thing. Adding the salt, see, this is kind of bigger than a teaspoon, right? What do you call it, Suzanne? You call it teaspoon? Teaspoon? Yes or no?
No, this is bigger than teaspoon and smaller than tablespoon.
So I am going to take only half of it, like not full of it. So half of it is enough. And this much salt will make my this much water, if you can see here, this much water. Nice. So it's kind of approximately 1 liter of water, right? 1 liter of water. So I am
Namaste. We've lost you, Guruji.
Oh no, where did he go?
Yeah, they'll sort it out.
hello, hello, hello. Mic check.
Okay.
Namaste, Radhika ji. Can you see me?
Yes, I can. Thank you. We can hear you as well.
Okay, okay, very good. That's great. That's great. Sorry, it was kind of internet. So everybody, you need the neti pot. You need salt. Then you need some ghee.
One minute. I think some people left to take their dogs out. Just make sure everyone's back.
Okay, okay. So if you can touch them, so just text them that they can come. So then we will
Yeah.
start the demonstration. 2 minutes.
Mm. So just make sure
लिखा रहा है,
everybody's
कहाँ लिख रहा है? कहाँ पे सेंड करना है इसको? एंटर मार दो लो. क्या है एंटर? I have sent like I am back, right?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, should we start then?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so neti pot, everybody. Again, salt. Guruji ko lana jara tissues. Okay, salt is very important. Water is very important. We should take the water. Okay, and then always keep tissues with you so that you can cleanse the excess of water. You can cleanse if the tears comes. Right. One more thing. After performing the Jalaneti, you should bend forward a little bit and do some rounds of Kapalabhati. Okay, Kapalabhati, both sides, tilting left side little bit and tilting right side little bit. This practice so that you can exhale everything out. A lot of people try the one thing, and that is the extended child's pose a little bit. Okay, extended child's pose, and then they just make the cup of the arms, and then they practice Kapalabhati. Okay, this practice also removes out the droplets of water after the Jalaneti, right? if any of the droplet is left there, so it can be the source of any other cold and cough situation for you, right? So you must cleanse yourself properly, everybody. And before going into any Jalaneti, you must check that is your pot working or not. So for example, my pot is working. Can you see? My pot is working. The water can go in and out. So let me show you how you should practice. If you are inside the hall, so take bucket like me, so you can put the water in it, and you, if you have someone, so you can assist with the tissues, the Guruji tissues. First of all, I'm going to demonstrate so fill first of all the bucket fully, your pot full. This is the
So the
big
best
pot.
posture,
Sorry?
the best posture is sitting or standing and doing it.
No, I'm going to show you the posture.
Oh,
So
okay.
this is full. So I can use, this is the big pot. I can use half for the left side, half for the right side. Okay? Half for the left, half for the right. So one thing is now the position. Okay, salt डाला नहीं. Okay, salt mix करो, फटाफट mix करो, salt डालो. So add the salt as I told you, and then you have to mix it, right? And let me tell you the position. So the position you will take is, can you see me properly, everybody? Very good. You can sit in Kagasana, both legs together and nicely down like this. If you cannot sit in Kagasana, this is crow posture. If you cannot sit, yes, crow posture. Kagasana, another crow posture, right? Crow posture. If you cannot sit in this, then you can stand up a little bit and you can tilt yourself towards the forward side and neck one side, and then you can insert the pot here and the water will come here. Make sure breathe with mouth, open mouth, do not close it. Breathe like this. Okay, slowly calm yourself down, insert this nicely and tilt it little bit up. Do not make the neck like this, otherwise it will go inside. Just head little bit here and then pot will tilt, not your neck. And breathe with the mouth. Clear? Very good. I'm going to demonstrate you in the sitting position because that is more comfortable, more relaxing, right? So here you make your pot full. I think it's done. Very good. Let me fill my pot with the salty water a little bit, saline water. Okay. Very good. Guruji, come with me with that thing. So pot in front of you, Kagasana, right? Little bit down, Guruji, a little bit. That's it. Perfect. Can you see me? Okay. And see, this is how, this much you should bend, and you should put this inside. First of all, check which is working more, which nostril is open more. Usually right is open more, so I should do with the right one, right? Tissues are here, bucket. Very good. Let's see. Okay, so here insert in the right one nicely like this. Okay, open your mouth, breathe well. Okay, and tilt little bit, and can you see? So then when half is done, so you should take tissues and you should exhale nicely and clean yourself up. Again, okay, clean yourself up with one nostril. Then start with another one. Here you go, take it to the another nostril, bend forward a little bit, and then tilt to the other side. Very good. Calm down. Can you see? Very good. When the water is done, so you should both side, right? And use tissue, clean yourself. If you have some tears in your eyes, clean those as well. Then more Kapalbhatis. Okay. So alternative Kapalbhati by blocking one nostril and then right nostril, and then bend forward. Very good. Bend forward in the standing positions. Your bended knees and palms on the knees, and then start Kapalbhati. Now block the right one and go for the left one, a little bit tilt toward the right side, and then use the tissue, clean yourself, and then block the left one and go for the right. Okay, clean yourself and check in the palm. Check if no water drops comes, that is okay. If few drops are coming, then you should go and you should remove the block and go for the extended child's pose position like this. Hips down, relax yourself up here, and forearms down. And now relax a bit. Again, inhale. Check the floor if any droplets are there. If not, so come up. If there, so keep on doing. Okay, and then if you are relaxed, you can come back and relax yourself here. And use the tissue and clean yourself and then come back. Are you okay, Guruji? Okay. Anybody got it? So this is how you should perform Jalaneti. Are you everybody okay? Where is Zara? Is Zara crying? Okay. Relax. Okay. So everybody, this you should perform. Any question here?
Yes, one question. How much water do you do? For how long do you do that for each side? The water, the flow of the water?
Guruji pot le gaya na. Okay, so everybody see. Sometime you get this pot, the big pot from market. Sometime you get the small one. Small one, Guruji, small one. Wahan pe small one hoga. So let me show you the two pots. You have variety of pots, right? Small one, big one. Can you see? Squeezed one and single one. So this can be used for one side full one for one nostril, one side full one for one nostril, because this is a small one. But if
So
you
it's
see this
full-
is bigger one,
Yeah, the small one is full of water. How much
full
water on that
one
small
nostril, one
size?
side. Yes, because it's small
Okay.
one. Big one, half
Okay.
for one side, half for one side. See, I am kind of experienced, so I can pull it for once, and then I can see like where it is finishing half. But if you are not experienced, so put it, full the water half only, fill the water half only, and then perform with the left side. Finish it complete. Then again fill the water half one, and then perform with the right. This is how you should take the measurement of the water. Any other question, everybody? Okay, now my nostrils are clear and I can inhale and exhale nicely. Okay, let's start. Ready, Guruji, for the next demonstration? Okay, so next demonstration is of the Sutra Neti. Okay, and usually we call it the rubber neti. So first of all, we need this catheter, and we should clean it with the salty water again, right? And then we are going to insert it. If it doesn't go at the first, so you should apply some ghee on top of it, and then you should insert it, and slowly and gently neck will tilt up, and use it slow, very slow. Do not push it too much. And then when it comes down here, then you should take the tongue out and you should clean it up. Okay, so Guruji, please here. So let me show you how it goes. Everybody, Sutra Niti makes the nostril dry. Okay. After performing Sutra Niti, mucus is gone. Your nostrils are kind of cleansed, right? So mucus is needed, is demanded by the body. So there is a process where we put the drops of ghee in left nostril, in right nostril, in fish posture, Matsyasana, so that it can easily go into your nasal passage and it can moisturize the nasal passage. This process is called Nasya, which is very important after the Sutra Niti, after the Rubber Niti, right? So Nasya, 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 be moisturizing yourself with the ghee. If ghee is not available, then almond oil, right? Almond oil, pure one, not the hair almond oil, but the eating one, right? That oil, 2 drops here, 2 drops here, and you should relax in Shavasana for a while, and you should massage your nostril from outside so that the ghee or almond oil can be spread to every part of your nasal passage. Let's start this process. Everybody, you can do it in the standing, it's more convenient. So Guruji, tilt the camera a little bit. Wash it, Guruji, so you can wash it in front of everybody. I will support you here. Remove this up here. Very good. So yeah, please wash it. So as you can see, Guruji is washing it properly. Sanitization is very important, right? So you must sanitize the thread, catheter, we call it sutra. Okay, very good. And then you're going to do in a standing position, Guruji. Very good. So standing is perfect for them, so you can, like, let them know. So if you perform it with the side posture, so they can see it, right? So very good. Yes. So very good. Prepare, calm down yourself, and then very good. Which nostril is active? Active, right one. So usually right one is active. So slowly you should insert it there. As you can see, Guruji is about to insert that thread inside. Guruji, turn to the front a little bit. Very good. And open the mouth. Few sneezes will come, but slowly, gently. Till it touches the throat. Very good. Relax. Overcome the gag sensation. Make your bucket close to yourself, so you won't gag. Or if you gag, so bucket is available for that, right? Very good. Relax. So it came out, you can see, and Guruji little bit show them to the front, right? Tears are very common, so you can use the tears. You can wipe them away, right? And relax, and then slowly movement. 1, 2, 1, 2 from side. 1, 2. Relax yourself, and then you can take it out from the mouth. Very good. Slowly and nicely, and then you use the very good. Just take it out. Very good. Okay. Then you wash everything up. Very good. Your hands, your catheter, you can use for another nostril. Okay. So very good. So then we will use it other side as well. We'll insert from the left side. Keep performing from 2 sides, so it can balance, right? It can open from 2 sides. But sometimes it happens, everybody, the right is open but left is not open. So left side just ditches you. So it's okay for the first time, but you must try another time. So here you see slow insertion and rotation a little bit, and then very good. You feel it in your throat. Okay. Not now. Restricted. Okay. If it touches, it's okay. Otherwise, you can just leave it. Okay. And you got it. Very good. Relax. Breathe well. Breathe well. Very nice. You got it in your throat. There. Easy. Very good. And it's okay. It's you can try another side another time as well. Okay, so sometime always if the right is more open, so left is not that open, but you understood the concept, right? Okay, so this is how you should perform it. Yes, any questions, everybody? Relax. Please ask question. It's okay.
So if one nostril is not open, what
Okay.
exercises you can do to start opening it up? Because obviously you don't want one side clean and the other side that's closed off. So what can we do now?
See, now you should try the oiling. So when we sleep in the night time, with the left side pinky finger, ghee or any kind of moisturizer, no, not any kind of, the almond oil, you should insert and then massage the nostril. Try to open it, try to massage it like this, right? And try to insert the little finger little more inside. So this is what you need to practice in the evening. So next day, maybe most probably next day, you will have this, right? You got it? Radhika ji, are you connected with me?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
yes. I'm just thinking about that sort of exercises. But at
Okay,
least, so now you obviously have to plan the day before if you're going to do the Sutra Neti or
100%.
Jalniti.
Planning is
So
very
you
important.
need, yeah, so you plan and you prep your nostrils for the morning.
Yeah.
So now that massage with the oil or the ghee, is it for both nostrils or only the one that was blocked before,
One,
you know?
you should pay attention more, which is kind of blocked, but you should try
Okay.
with the both. So I'm going to make the Guruji. So you're going to lay down, remove this bucket, and you're going to lay down in the Shavasana. Okay, let's see the last process, which I told you, the Nasya, how to do the Nasya process, right? How to insert. So if you have a dropper and melted ghee, that's perfectly fine. And if you do not have that melted ghee, so you are going to use, कुछ गरम करने के लिए है? इस water को गरम कर दीजिए. Okay, so if you have ghee, so that is okay. If you have almond oil, it is already liquid, it's perfect. And if you have dropper, that's more nice. And so then otherwise you must take the cotton bud or the, you can say that, the tissue, a clean tissue, and then you must use the ghee like this, and then this is how you should insert 1 drop, 2 drops inside the nostril, and then you must massage, but you must use the melted ghee. Okay, melted ghee or melted thing. So we're going to warm the ghee a little bit up. It will take a little time. So everybody, how are you then? Good? Zara, I remember Zara, always Zara, is he crying? Rekha ji, Zara was crying, you know, when she saw a video, she was like, oh, why, my God. Okay, you can use the warm water to melt it up a little bit, because this is metal one. Metal one is always good for such things. Okay, बहुत बढ़िया. So as you can see behind me, the Guruji is relaxing. Oh, no. Lay down. Today is the day when he relaxed. Otherwise, in your class, he was like more, no, go this, go that. Guruji, more intense.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you can see, everybody, the ghee is melted, right? The ghee is melted, if you can focus, right? So let's insert and let's go for the Nasya process. So relax and tilt little bit like this. Very good. So 2 drops in the left one, 1 and 2, okay, and 1, sorry, outside, and 1 and 2. Guruji, clean up. Very good. Now massage. Relax and massage with an outside massage. Very good. External massage is very important. You should massage this part. Okay. If you massage this part, so ghee or any moisturizer will spread all the way and easily will pass down. Stay there in the Matsyasana position for a while. Very good. Close your eyes. Relax yourself. Leave the palm there. Very good. Okay, so we're gonna hold this for at least 1 minute and let Guruji sleep. And everybody, let's take your questions. Please, everybody, if you have any.
So-
Yes, Zara, very good.
So let's say if a person has like morning sinus,
Okay.
you know, like issues with just sniffing a lot, and you can't just keep it dry for a while. Is this advisable to do it? This
or the
exercise.
constricted nostril because of sinus, right? In the
Yeah,
morning.
No, it's more like just sinus, and then you keep sneezing. Because sometimes I have that, and it borders the nostril area. So
100%. 100%. I will recommend it to you for the evening purpose. Daily, you should do this process. Daily. You
Yeah.
will see that your sleeping pattern is more nice. Okay. You will see that your sinuses are active. Your senses are more active, especially the smell one is more active, right? And I think it will help you in the breathing pattern as well. It will smoothen the way of air, and air can easily go in, and it will increase the mucus production as well. There is a neti, as we did with the water, there is a neti with the ghee as well. We call it grita neti, more intense level. Okay, we take as you can see the plastic neti pot, we have the metal neti pot. As I think, sorry, I forgot the name. There was one. She was mentioning that how to use the metal one. Okay, the copper one. So you can use that copper small one, and then you can do the neti. And then after that, hot water neti, lukewarm water neti, and then this will cleanse excess of ghee. So this will also help.
So
But
if I have morning sinus, I do in the evening. Is that
in the
right?
evening before sleeping, yes.
So I will
You know,
not.
snoring, that will be treated slowly, but this will also help in that condition. Okay, so you must use that one, neti, and this one, Radhika ji.
No, I just want to know about what will cure the snoring, the nasya. Is that?
Jalaneti more.
Oh, okay.
Jalaneti more. Insomnia, Jalaneti more. Okay.
And
The respiratory issue, Jalaneti more.
how often do you recommend?
2 days interval is enough for
2 days.
beginner. 2 days interval, yes. Okay, but see everybody, after Kapalbhati, after Jalaneti, you can see there is no drop. But if still there are drops, you should keep doing Kapalbhati, take rest, Kapalbhati, take rest, so that every single drop can come out, and this is how you cleanse yourself. Everybody, any other question? Yes, Radhika ji.
Sorry to worry you so much, Guruji. But say like we don't know now. We've never done this successfully. Remember I said I attempted, but I never proceed. So now how often should we try? Like now, say tomorrow I want to start. Sorry?
Once in a week. Once in a week.
No, I'm not saying where we do it. How often, like say if tomorrow I'm trying it and it doesn't go far. So should I continue the day after till I get it right, or only once a week try it?
Once a week. Once a week. Sutra Neti you are asking about, right? Sutra Neti or
Yes.
Rubber Neti you are asking about.
Yes, Rubber Neti.
Once a week is good. Okay. So Guruji, are you fine? Let's wake up Guruji and let's close the class then, right? Okay, everybody.
Can I ask you one last question?
Who is asking? May I know?
Rita,
Okay, Rita ji, please go ahead.
where do we get this rubber and the pot that you just used, plastic pot?
In any yoga, you can say that where the yoga accessories are available, you can get it. And if you
Okay.
are in such place like Rishikesh, Haridwar, so you can get it anywhere.
Okay.
Or you can get it online as well.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
Actually, the cost of this much big one is like kind of 60 to 70 rupees. And this will
Alright.
be like 30 to 20 rupees like this one.
Okay.
It's very
Sure.
easy to get,
Okay. Thank you so much.
So everybody, let's close the class. Please sit comfortably in any cross-leg position. We will bind up the class. And join your both palms together. Let the thoda sa idhar aa jao. Okay. Very good. So join your both palms together in front of your heart chakra. Close your eyes. Extend your spine. Relax yourself. And prepare yourself for one time Om and three Shanti. Inhale. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Gently bow down your head towards the fingertips. Inhale, head up and open your eyes. Namaste, everybody. Thank you so much. Enjoy.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you. Thank you so
It
much.
really was such a lovely class. Thank you. I've
Have a
learned
great
so
day
much.
ahead. Thank you so much,
It's
Radhika.
just going to add to our yoga practice, and you explained it so